Cheers, my thrifting friends. How is everybody doing? How's everybody's fall going? I am here at the Salvation Army in Springfield today because they're the only ones that still take the Stamp Me app. And yeah, I figured I'd check it out, see what's here. Hopefully the thrifting angels are in here. You never know, but listen, come along for the ride. Let's see what we got. Well, let's check out this Salvation Army. I'm always looking for colored glass. You never know what you might find. That could be Fenton, right? This, however, is amazing. Yeah, I really like this. Spatterware always does really well for me. And at $3.99, I feel like this is definitely a great item to pick up for the store. I love seeing hand-painted pieces, but when they don't have a back stamp, I never pick them up. A lot of people do collect certain pieces, whether they're made in Portugal or Italy. So I really just look for the back stamps. Like this one is made in Portugal, so that's great, but it was $8.99, which I thought was a little too high. Can't make any money on that. So we're gonna keep looking. Oh, this is charming. Kind of primitive. I don't know, $2.99. I didn't really like the bow that was on the cat, so I left that. But these candle stands are nice. They're $3.95, which was kind of, I was hoping they were going to be under $2, maybe $2.50. Let's look at the smaller ones, still $3.95. So I'm going to leave those. They are pretty. They're very primitive, but a little too high for reselling. These are definitely vintage. They're $1.45 each. Looks like they're Mexico, maybe. They had the price tag over that back stamp. So I was looking to see, they're all the same design. So yeah, they're vintage. They're cute. I left them, but they're definitely a vintage piece for sure. This bird was really pretty, but then I could see, oops, she's got a lot of issues. She's been put together. She's glued. So we're going to leave that. Always looking for baskets. This looked like a new one. It was $3.95, but it was a little small. So if it had been bigger where somebody could have used it for a potted plant, I would have picked it up, but it was a little too small. This was an interesting do-it-yourself project, it looks like. It looks like somebody fastened a false graft, some kind of false graft bowl over an old-fashioned coffee grinder. $5 for that little project. We left that for sure, but it was interesting. All right, here is the Salvation Army Art Gallery, as I like to call it. It was fully stocked, but unfortunately, spoiler alert, I did not pick up any artwork here. It was fully stocked with nothing I would be able to resell or want for myself, but it was still fun to look. I mean, they certainly did have quite a few pieces. This was beautiful. I'm not going to lie. I debated on this. It was the right price, but it was super cheap. It was literally just like a piece of cardboard, and the frame was not good. It was like plastic. It was not wood. So even though I love the subject matter, it was not for me. That lacquered piece there with the child, that was interesting, definitely vintage, but I just don't have a market for stuff like that. I think if I had an antique booth, I definitely would have considered that. This I considered, but then I saw someone else's price. So for $6.50, they were not able to sell it, which is what I would sell it for in their store, wherever this was for sale. So I figured, probably because the frame was plastic. All right, wooden shelves are definitely hot right now. I sell them right when I get them. So I am looking at every wooden shelf available to see if there's anything that I could use. That one was kind of big. I didn't like it, but this one I do like. I'm actually thinking of possibly keeping this one and painting it white for my own kitchen. I've been looking for a 3-tiered shelf like this, and I like that each tier is a different width. So I'm going to consider this. I think that this false graft in a few years is going to be super collectible. Of course, they want $50 for this entire set right now, which I think is way too high. But I think specifically this pattern. I think it's called Yorktown or something. I do think that this is going to come into its own and kind of be like Franciscan wear in like another 20 years. See that? $49.99 for the whole thing. I think that this, if you see it out cheap now, I would start collecting it. I think it's going to appreciate in value. I always love looking at small furniture pieces. I sell a lot of plant stands in my store, and the price was definitely right, $3.99. But this had such a big flaw in it. It had a big crack right down the middle. What a shame. It was otherwise a very sturdy piece, very vintage, sturdy. This would look great, all painted up, but that crack, that would be hard to overcome. I think, you could use wood sealer on it and turn it into a project if you were a furniture refurnisher, but I don't have the time for that. These fruit plates were cute. I just looked at them for the back stamp. I always like to collect my knowledge. So yep, these looked European, Bavaria, but the gold rim on the outside was completely destroyed and they were faded. So somebody probably put these through a dishwasher one too many times, but otherwise they would have been a very pretty, charming, very cottagecore plate set. And if they hadn't been so worn, I would have considered them, but they were too worn. This is a cute little table. Again, somebody tried to do it yourself with some white paint on this. Didn't do a great job, but it was a great piece for the size. Like, it was great for an apartment. It was a smaller coffee table. So I'm just looking at these more out of curiosity and thinking of ways to possibly, how could we use these? They were $3 a piece, $2.97. And they're so cool, these vintage tennis rackets. I don't know. I just was like looking at them. I can picture them in like a merchandising display, but probably not in home decor, but it was fun to look at. Okay, this bed was beautiful. I don't really know how old it was though, and the price at $79.99, that's pretty high for the Salvation Army. But if it was old, I don't know how you tell. I don't think this was that old. So, but if it had been an old bed, you see these at Brimfield all the time for a couple $100s. So I can see a furniture dealer considering it if it was old. I'm always looking for practical things for myself, and this coat hanger, it was $20. I kind of thought about it. It was very sturdy. I really liked the bottom of it because it was so sturdy. It was not going to fall over. But at the end of the day, I didn't need it. I have a lot of ways to store coats at my house, so I just admired it for what it was, and it was too high for me to resell. I would sell it for that price in my own store, so we passed. This dresser was gorgeous. It was actually gorgeous, but oof, $79.99. That's really high. But I will say it was a very high quality dresser. It was real solid wood. It wasn't like an MDS type thing. It was definitely a wood dresser. All wood, and the drawers glided so easily. They just were so, look at that, so smooth. I mean, if I really needed a dresser, I would probably pay up for this at the Salvation Army just to have something amazing and ready to go with no flaws, because this was really, really an excellent shape. It was probably worth the money. This was a cute little vintage little bench. I liked it. It was interesting. I love the tapestry top. I thought that was super charming and cottagecore. Really big too. I mean, you could fit a lot in this. A really great blanket chest, in my opinion. Very charming. That was a great piece. That would be great in somebody's booth if they were a reseller. These lamps were unusual and interesting. I don't know what these were. They look like big teapots. They were $14.99 a piece. And very, I don't know, very 60s looking to me, 50s or 60s. Ooh, this is me getting excited with the gem of the haul. Yep, that's ironstone. And me being very happy after finding that. What a cute plate. All right, back into the shelves we go. This is a mini grater. I love to cook, so whenever I find any kind of kitchenware out, I do like to check it out in case it's something that I could use. In this case, I could not, so I left it. I love looking at souvenir ware. There's definitely a market for it. This one's from Puerto Vallarta, and what a beautiful big fish. He was $2.99. Sometimes if people have like a little tiki room or something like that, they like to decorate with pieces like that. All right, if you collect Johnson Brothers Friendly Village, here's two teacup saucers for you. I don't collect that, although I do have a pitcher from them, a good sized pitcher. I just mix it with my other patterns, but I do love this pattern. Of course, if I found a whole set of it, I would totally splurge and buy it, but I don't have any other pieces, so I did leave those. This was an interesting, charming piece. I mean, super unusual, $2.97, and it looked like it was some kind of music, I don't know, music box. I should have turned that knob to see what it did. I mean, I just didn't want to, I don't know. I didn't really think to do that, but I think that knob there on the bottom, if you turned it, it would start playing music and maybe some of those pieces might actually move. I don't know. Very unusual. All right, here's another, just too little of a really good thing. So this is Pyrex. They're just little tiny plates, but there's the Pyrex stamp. Yep. There's just two of them, so I left them. They were $3 a piece. All right, I am done shopping. I got a little bit of clothes this time too. That's different for me. All right, let's get all this home, and I can't wait to show you my haul. Hi, you guys. All right, well, I'm back from my thrifting adventures at the Salvation Army. I had fun. Well, I got some good stuff. I hope you like what I got. I can't wait to show you. Actually, the first thing I'm going to show you, I am modeling. I got this jacket. What do you think? I never buy clothes hardly when I go out. I mean, sometimes I do. You know why? Because I run a consignment store, which is mostly clothing. So many beautiful things come into my own store that I'm like shopping every day, you know, in my own store. But sometimes I find something I really like, and I really liked this jacket for fall. I thought it was so cool. Here's the tag for it. I spent way too much, girl. $12.97 for this. It's from Coldwater Creek. I mean, in the day, it was way too much money. We all know that. But I mean, I would charge $10 for this in my own consignment store. So I paid more for this in the Salvation Army than you could buy it in my own store. How crazy is that? Anyway, I loved it. It screamed fall. I had to have it. So I threw it in the car and I'm happy with it. I really like it and I think it's really cool. Hopefully you guys like it too. So anyway, let's get into what I got for myself and for the store. So if you guys watched my last video, you saw that we went to an arts festival and you also saw the outrageous prices for pottery. Anything studio pottery is insanely expensive when you go to an arts festival or you try to buy it online. So you can see why, if you guys probably are into watching like super famous YouTube thrifters, I think Laura Cardwell, I think her name is, and she does mid or East Coast revivals or left coast revivals, something like that. Anyway, her whole thing is a lot of organic pottery, mid-century modern pottery, studio pottery. You know, she finds a lot of it out in the Pacific Northwest, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a new thing, but you can see where pottery, she's gotten super famous because she's thrifted a ton of this type of pottery and resold it. And when you go to arts festivals, it is super expensive. It is crazy. Just this little small art festival that I went to in like North Quabbin, Orange, Massachusetts, Nowhereville, these artists, and rightly so, wanted like upwards of $70, $80, $90 for studio pieces. So anyway, I found two studio pieces when I was out thrifting. This one was $1.95, and it's like just this little, I don't know, you could probably use this for like toothpicks or matches. I would totally use this for matches. I think it would look super cool up on a mantle with matches or near a candle collection. And then I grabbed this one, like a potpourri holder, maybe a candle holder, so you can see the candle glowing through those little holes. And that one's also signed by the artist. So again, these are all one-of-a-kind pottery pieces. If you're out thrifting, even if it's not your style, but you're a reseller, totally grab them because you can sell them for really good money, and they're usually priced way low. They're usually priced like $2 to $3, $4. So it's a great item to get started with if you want to be a reseller. Apples, like I said, I'm not going to get them unless they're amazing. And this is amazing. So yes, I picked this up. This is an awesome shelf. Look how big this thing is. Oh my word. So it does have 3 dowel pegs on it to hang coats or sweaters or whatever, and it's got the top shelf. You can put plates on it or whatever, but this is a really, really big piece. It's got beautiful artwork of the apples. I mean, they look hand painted to me, or a really great design, however they transferred it onto here. It's got green apples and red apples and a nice wood box. I really love this. I thought this was amazing. I cannot wait to get this in my store. I think it's going to be a great fall item. I really love it. I love this. I think it looks great. I love it. It's apples, but it's cool. It's totally cottagecore, totally cool. So that's going to the store. And then I did grab for myself this shelf. So this one I am going to try. So that one I paid $4.99 for. This one I paid $3.99 for. So great prices at the Salvation Army for this stuff. So I have been getting a lot of these shelves lately, which is totally cool because these sell instantly. I know this one would sell immediately in my store, but I have a place for this in my kitchen. And I know you guys are going to beat me up, but I am going to paint this white. Go ahead, comments below. Don't paint it, don't touch it. But I'm going to paint it white because my whole kitchen's got like cream and white. So this would not go in my kitchen, and it's fine. It's not a super expensive piece. I mean, it looks like it's basically like kind of plywoody or whatever, but it's good for me. It's exactly what I want. I have the perfect spot for it. I had a piece of artwork hanging in this spot, but I think it would be much more practical to have a shelf like this. I could put a lot of different spices and jars and stuff like that. And speaking of which, yeah, I grabbed this jar. So this is like an example of what I want to put on there. So I paid $3 for this and stuff like this. I just want to have like a spot to put, like if I want some decaf coffee in there or other spices. I use a lot, we cook a lot here, and I use a ton of spices. So I'm going to put together this little shelf and all the little bits as I collect them to put on it. And yeah, I'm going to get started on painting this white after I'm done filming this. All right, I picked up 3 blue and white things. I know, they just keep coming. So I'm here for it. I'm gonna pick them up when I see them. I love blue and white, whether it's like this spatterware or like a more ornate design. I paid $3.99 for this. And it doesn't have a, oh, actually it does have a mark on it. Let's see. It just says DC, TZ11. I don't know what that means. So I'm not quite sure what that means, but I love this. This is super farmhouse, super country, very popular look. Any kind of spatterware that I've had in my store, I have always sold it. I don't have any in stock at all. It never sits around. It's very popular. So this baby is going to the store. I'll have that available super soon. And then the next piece I picked up for me, it's a pepper grinder, but I absolutely love this, and I'm going to use it for salt. I actually have really coarse Himalayan salt that I have in a grinder right now that it's not refillable. I keep rebuying it. It's crazy. So I'm going to buy the bulk coarse salt, and I'm going to put it in this. And again, I'll probably put it on my shelf. Can you guys see it now? See, I'll have my little salt on my shelf. It'll look really cute. So I got this for myself. I really love it. That's what it looks like. I think it's vintage, but it's not that old, but it's really sweet. And that's what I'm going for. Sweet and warm and charming. This baby was $5. So I think this is amazing. It's very dark. It is blue and white, but it's really emphasis on the blue. And here's the bottom of it. Made in... got a lot of interesting writing on the bottom of it. I'm not quite sure what that all means, but it's very beautiful, saturated, beautiful blue color. I am going to be bringing this to the store. I'm not going to be keeping it because it's not in the style of the blue and white collection that I do have. You've seen that in my previous video, but I think it's beautiful. It's stunning, and I'm sure someone's going to grab it because blue and white is beautiful. Here's another little small jar that I grabbed. Again, I wanted stuff to I could put lots of little stuff that I have, sometimes I even put powdered milk, out to have. I use it in coffee for extra calcium as I'm getting older. I'm hitting my 60s. So I think, I definitely am aware of bone loss and stuff like that. So I'll put powdered milk right at our coffee station and use it in my coffee, or little tea bags or something like that. But anyway, this was $2.97. Again, we were at the Salvation Army. And I think it's a great deal for this. It's just perfect. It's a tiny little canister. It's not vintage. It's not anything special. This is the back stamp on it. I mean, it's a modern piece, but I loved it for the color. I love mixing this beautiful muted mustard color. I love this color. And I've got a couple of pieces, old pieces and modern, in this colorway, and I love it. I think it goes with a lot of stuff. It's actually a neutral. So like I said, this is like one of my best selling items, mirrors. I sell mirrors every single week. It's no fail. If I see mirrors out and they're in good condition and there's something I think I can actually sell for a profit, I grab them. This one was $2. So it's a very nice sized mirror for $2. I love the frame. So you look at this up close. It's a white wood frame. It's perfect. I love it. It's an easy sell, no brainer. I'll have this in my store right away. All right, this is the most unusual item that I picked up. Super unusual. It's like this lamp, but it's like a cottage, but it's a light. So it's got the light like right here, and you plug it in and, you know, turn it on with the little switch right there. But so the windows like all light up in this like Englishy cottage thing. Is this not the coolest cottagecore thing? Light, it's so cool. Like the back of it, to me it looks very 60s, maybe 50s or 60s. I'm thinking, I don't know, it's definitely vintage. It's not a new vibe at all. It's definitely vintage. It feels like it might be 50s or 60s, and it was just like this charming cottage light thing. You know what, hold please. I have a plug like right down here. Let me plug it in so I can show you what it looks like. All right, so here we go. See how it lights up the windows in the cottage? So there's the light in the back. You know, you see the light coming through. The light's like right there, but it lights up the windows in the cottage. It is so cool. I have no idea. I'll have to look this up. If I find anything online, I'll stick it out over here if I find anything, but I just love it. It is like the most charming cottagecore thing. I guess it would sit on a shelf somewhere, you know, and just kind of be this like lit up cottagey thing, this English cottagey thing. I love it. It's so cool and unique. I've never seen anything like it. So I'm going to definitely sell it, but yeah, it's very cool, very different. All right, so I already talked about pottery, and I did get another piece of pottery. Now this has a huge flaw in it, super flawed, but it was so cheap that I think I can still sell it even with the flaw. So it was $2.99, which is insanely cheap for something like this beautiful pottery. Like this is stunning, heavy pottery. So this is a lidded cake baking situation. So this is the bottom half of it, and these are the handles. And so if you just, you know, you use it to bake like a tube, you know, it's a baking pan, a bread baking pan with the tube in it. So like to make a cake, but it has a huge flaw, unfortunately. And that is that the cover is chipped. A good chip. I mean, a lot of chipped. That's not small. That's a pretty big piece missing. Yeah, you can see where that's a pretty big piece that's missing out of it. Really big. So super sad, but because it was literally $2.99. $2.99. When you have it together, you don't see it like that much, especially if it's towards the back. So if you have it on the thing, so it's right here. But if you just have it on there and you have it like displayed, however you would display this, let's see, I guess you'd probably have it like that. So the handle's this way and the top that way. So if you put that to the back, it's right there, you know, and you just have it displayed somewhere on a shelf, something like that, it still looks amazing. And these pottery pieces are a lot, like 80, 90, if you bought it new from the artist. Now, if you find these thrifting, these are usually around 15. If you find them thrifting, 15, 18, sometimes 20. Goodwill will put no problem at all, $19.99 on this. No problem at all. But to find this for $2.99 at the Salvation Army with that flaw, I figured I could still keep the price under $10, and somebody would definitely consider this that ordinarily wouldn't be able to afford or be able to find the piece without the flaw, and they just want it for their collection, and it's affordable. So I'm going to give it a go. It's a little bit of a risk, but for $3, that's not a risk. That's, you know, just pocket change to see if I can make a profit on it. I'm pretty sure I can. It's a beautiful piece, and I think somebody would still forgive that flaw just to have such a beautiful piece that you can't even see the flaw if you display it on a shelf. All right, so my last piece is definitely my favorite. It's the gem of the haul, as we call it. I love this, and it's a 2-piece set. So I paid $8.99, and again, this was the Salvation Army in Springfield. And this is a Johnson Brothers ironstone pitcher. Very beautiful. I love the design of the handle. This is just the most classic, stunning design that, you know, was made. Just a very simple, it's got a little bit of a fern on the bottom there. I think it's like right there, you can see like the fern. It's just, it's simply beautiful, and it's flawless, and it came with the bowl as well, which is equally flawless and equally beautiful. Here's the back stamp on the bowl. That's the Johnson Brothers back stamp, made in England. Very beautiful. All right, so this is huge. You know, it's a very big piece. It's got the matching embossing with the floral look on it. These can be like overwhelming. Like clearly the picture is amazing, and you can just sell the picture alone. You don't have to sell it as a set, or if you keep it in your house, you know, obviously these are beautiful. But I know a lot of us struggle with, how do you use the basin piece? Like, it's, you know, it's a very big piece, and there are definitely uses for this. And let me just give you a couple. Like, I use these because my husband and I do a lot of canning and you know, food preservation, washing off our fruit first. Sometimes if we do outside work, you know, you can, this would hold a ton of fruit or vegetables like in water that you can just wash them easily outside. Or, you know, if you have like a big island, you can fill it up with water and wash your fruits apart from the sink if someone else is using the sink, or if you don't want to take up the sink, you have other things going on. So I definitely use it for that. I also use these for hand washing. So if you want to soak something overnight, or you want to hand wash something and you don't want to, again, take up your sink. I mean, it's just as easy sometimes, I guess, to hand wash things like in a bathroom sink. But if you want to let things soak, this is where these basins do come into, they're handy. They're definitely handy if you want to soak something, including like not only just garments that you want to soak, you know, what do you call it? Like delicate garments that you want to soak, but you can also use these for a foot bath too, which is kind of elegant if you think about it. You can put Epsom salts in this and, you know, just have it on the floor and set your feet into it. They're definitely wide enough and big enough to soak your feet if you like to give yourself your own pedicure and you want to do it in a really beautiful, elegant, vintage way. So there's lots of uses for these. I know they're scary when people look at these sets. When they look at the entire thing together, they're thinking, oh my God, what do I do with this part? But if you think about it, there are a lot of practical uses for it if you do choose to keep such a set. So I believe this is going to be our third and final edition of hot sauce making with John. I think this would be the very last of the hot peppers. He had way more than he thought he was going to get this year, so he's come up with yet another recipe. So what do we make it today?
This is going to be very similar to the condiment that I made with the habanero peppers and the mangoes. It's essentially the same recipe, except we're using Scotch bonnets, cilantro, garlic, mass native peaches, and it's
nice.
just pureed with a little bit of salt and white vinegar and packed into jars for the months ahead.
So we don't have to boil
anything.
these or anything. Yeah, just pack them. And now where do you keep them? In the fridge? Or do
Yes,
you...
they have to be refrigerated.
All right, so we have an extra fridge, so that helps with the extra refrigeration. We use it for all of our stored foods. But all right, so it looks like we're going to start blending any second now.
You when I'm firm, not fully ripe. I know it looks full, but it's going to break down fast. And we're not removing the seeds. We want all the hot we can get out of them. Not too garlic intense, like 1 clove per peach. Give it a little bit to get going. That's fine. Don't need all that. A bunch more in. And that's it. You can leave it as chunky as you want or as fine as you want, and spray is just pack into jars. Just want to make sure you have enough moisture.
Is it ready to eat right now, or do you have to wait?
You could eat it right now if you wanted.
Will it taste the same? Or...
It'll taste the same. I use it as a condiment and put it on food because it's got everything. You got the flavor of the peach, but not too sweet because you don't want them really ripe.
Yep.
And then each peach gets a clove of garlic and 2 Scotch bonnets, and then half a bunch of parsley.
So there's no wait time after you jar it. You can just eat it.
You can just use it right away.
All right, there you go. So there we have it. We got 3 jars out of that. So let's see, you had 4 peaches and about 7 or 10 garlic cloves, and then how many of the Scotch bonnet peppers? Maybe about 8 or 9?
No, like 7 Scotch bonnets.
7s. All right, so that's what that will make. And then you had a good handful of cilantro, fresh cilantro leaves. Yep. That looks amazing. Well, that's going to be something we'll reach for, I'm sure, quite a bit. And I usually use it every morning when I make an egg sandwich for John before he goes to work. So, yep, we'll be using that up. Smells delicious. Thanks for sharing your recipe, babe.
Anytime. Okay,
hi, you guys. Time is running out for us to plant these evergreens. I don't know if you guys remember, but we thrifted this big urn. I hope you guys can see this. Yeah. Remember John and I went to Clinton, Connecticut, and we thrifted this urn. So we're going to plant that with an evergreen. And we showed you the other 2 evergreens that we have here. But we have some really mature ones that we're going to take out of some other urns, and we're going to replant somewhere in the yard. But yeah, John's back here with me. So let's get these 3 evergreens in our urns so you can see how we use the pots that we buy. All right, so these are the plants that we have. So we're going to put this larger one in that big black urn. And then these 2 small ones, we're going to put in these black urns right here. So these that we have in here are, look how tall they are. Like, they're really tall. They grew really, 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 really tall. And I think they've been in these urns for probably, I'm going to say 3 years, maybe 4, but they outgrew these. So we're going to plant them somewhere else in the yard and put these much smaller evergreens in these deck pots right here. So, well, let's get going. So we're going to start off by putting a couple sticks at the bottom of the urn for better drainage. I think that does help. I've planted stuff without the sticks before and hasn't gone well. So it's good to just put a few sticks at the bottom there too.
But it's better than putting rocks because this will actually
break down and be organic and everything.
Feed your plants.
Right. If you put rocks down there, it's once the roots hit it, it's that's it for the roots. I don't think we need much soil for that, but some, definitely some.
That raise it 3 inches.
3 inches, okay. I love this urn. Actually, guys, I think the Goodwill sticker is still on it. Yeah, see, there you go. We paid $14.99 for this. Let me see if I can get this up. There. If you get these in Lowe's or Home Depot, I think they go for like, I'm going to say like $40, $50, something like that. And, you know, they look beat up pretty quickly. So if you can find them when you're out thrifting, that's really the best. I have to say, we have found amazing planters every time we go to the Clinton Goodwill in Clinton, Connecticut. Yeah, that's nice. Looks nice. I love the evergreens. So we pretty much just put evergreens in all of our urns back here on the deck because they last for so long. And then once they outgrow the container, then you can always replant them somewhere else. We're going to replant the ones from these other urns over here. We're going to put those on our fence line, I think. For now, we're just going to put them in a container until we can get to it because it's after work and John and I are tired. We're doing this right as we walk in the door, so we're pooped. But we will replant them for sure. Loosen up those roots.
From the Home Depot.
Yeah.
Bucket.
Yeah, I know.
No,
look at this. You guys, look how much root they sell. The most root-bound stuff. It's insane. That's really, really unhealthy for the plant. But it's probably a couple years old, and they're
gonna keep it till it sells.
Yep. And the poor thing's just so root-bound. No matter how much they water it, it's still gonna always be thirsty. So these will overwinter, no problem. I am in New England. I think I'm zone, I want to say 5.5 or 6. What do you think, honey? What zone we're in? We used to be like 4 and a half.
It's a strong 5 right now.
But it's a strong 5 right now. So what we do is we leave them up against the house like this. So they definitely get sun. And if it's a really warm fall into winter, I'll water them a couple of times out here, all the way up until we get like a first snow. After we get the first snow, don't water them. You don't have to do anything like that. You can just leave them here. Like I said, the ones we're going to repot in a second, we've had them here for years and they're just fine. But yeah, that's looking really beautiful. Look at the ones that we have behind here. So I showed you a few weeks ago. They look like they've already got growth on them. The juniper. Yep, so these look really healthy. We planted these with you guys maybe 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, that looks great. Look how beautiful these look in these really traditional urns. I think they look really pretty. This guy's got a little brown on him. I don't know what happened. When I bought him, he didn't. So, yeah, he got a little brown. I'll just trim that off, but that looks really good. All right.
I told you not to pick stuff up. There you go.
I feel like we're trying to give birth. Like we got some big animal here. We got to get it out. Oh, I can feel it tearing though. Oh my God.
Try the other way.
Okay.
You getting it?
I do feel it. Oh, I don't want to give up though. Oh my word. Hold please.
We have this tension.
Yep.
Clockwise with it.
Okay, clockwise. Clockwise. Got it. Pull on it when there's tension. Clockwise rotation.
That's not.
Oh no! Ah, we got it! Told you we'd get it.
With a curve.
All right, now we got to do this with the other one. Oi! All right, oh yeah, we got some.
With the poodles.
Oi with the poodles. And you guys watch Gilmore Girls? You know what that one is? Oi with the poodles. All right, so that's gonna sit there. I tried digging up the side of that one. Yeah. Oh my word. All right, so we finally did get both of them out, and we're filling the bottoms of both with some sticks. This one's already done. Looks amazing. These urns are older. These were actually given to me by a friend of mine. She didn't want them anymore. One of them has a flaw on the back there. The edge of it broke off, but I got to repaint them. They've held up pretty good. I got these maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, so they're definitely older, but they've held up pretty good. So yeah, and those are the little guys we're going to put in there.
These are better.
These aren't going to be so root bound?
No, they're supposed to be this year's.
Yeah. Yep. See, now that's what it should look like when you purchase a plant.
It should still be loose dirt.
Yeah,
at the bottom.
loose dirt and that kind of thing. Not the other one we just planted is definitely a couple years in the retail market. Poor thing. We're using a pretty good potting soil. That is one thing you don't want to really buy, like, you know, Dollar General potting soil or anything like that. No. You want to get something that's got at least some fertilizer with it, etc. All right, well, we got done what we wanted to get done. So these are all put back to where they belong. And this one is over here. So there's one urn on each side of the sofa out here. And that's the big one. We just put it there for now next to the hose. I have a hose bowl because we used to have one of those, like a box, but the hornets kept building nests in it. So now we just use a bowl and it keeps it organized but open so that the hornets don't feel like they need to make any nests over there. And then there's the other 3 that we have. So yeah, that was fun. Now our deck is ready. We're ahead of spring. We figured we would just plant them now and let them get some root growth, and then in the spring we'll be all ready to go. All right, well, that was my entire haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all the other adventures that John and I got up to. Whatever planting we did, or I think we did some peppers in this video. We had a huge bumper crop of hot peppers this year, so John's been trying to come up with different recipes and different relishes and condiments to make with them. So I think one of those is included in here too. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my content. Also, subscribe if you want to find out when I upload. I try to upload 2 times per week. And yeah, if you subscribe, you'll get notified of that. And thank you again so much for watching. Our channel is growing. I'm so excited. And I see so many of you guys out when I'm thrifting too. You recognize me, which is hilarious. But always come up to me, say hello. I'm completely like, I'm thrilled when someone says hello to me like that. I never feel alone anymore when I'm thrifting because you guys say hello. So that's really awesome. All right, I'll see you guys real soon. I hope the thrifting angels are really good to you and you find lots of good treasures. And leave me a comment below. Let me know what you found this week that was really special and that you loved. And I'll talk to you real soon.